everyone. Thanks for the warm welcome. So, a bit about me. Since I was very young, I used to share my room with my brother. Sharing a room with anyone else is a bit challenging, as everyone has different needs and behaviors. It can quickly make it uncomfortable. And by trying it out, promiscuity in a private space gives rise to irritation, tension, and a rupture of the social link. Collective places are very sensitive subjects, where the space needs to be really well managed in a way to avoid all kind of conflict. I think most of us have experienced dormitory with friends during any school trips or summer camp, which is often a very enjoyable experience as you sharing a space with your friends. It's exciting and usual, but still you have to respect social rules and being ready to adapt despite your own wishes. It's a first step into the collective life. So I think it's pretty easy to host children in a dormitory for a few days, but what about adults? As you grow up, the privacy you need grows with you. At a time, the space that you're sharing with anyone, and much more with unknown people, has to be really well managed in a way to avoid all kind of conflict. By having a certain experience in that field, I was wondering if design is able to redefine the collective living space. Could it set up new boundaries within a shared room? In fact, I was asking myself, is promiscuity a matter of design? While I was still investigating on that question, the media focused on the Swiss recurring problem of having to host migrants into fallout bunkers. Due to the lack of space into sustainable facilities, and by that I mean just normal rooms and normal welcoming people, they host them into bunkers that are made to host the civil population in case of great disaster or conflict. These places are not really adapted to the situation because they are made to host the civil population for a very short period of time in case of real problems on the normal territory. So several incoming groups have been hosted in those bunkers for a month to 2 years. There have been 50 to 100 people with no regards of cultural differences and backgrounds hosted in buried dormitory for a long period of time. As you can see, those spaces gives really not really acceptable hosting to people. There is little place for themselves and for their belongings. When I go by and visit those spaces, it becomes clear that they clearly looks like prison. If you have a look at these two images, there is no big difference between the prison cell and the bunker's dormitory. In fact, prisoners even have infrastructures and accessories that migrants and those residents of the dormitory does not have. Also, the way the residents of the bunkers personalized the space was a bit the same for the prisoners in their prison cell. The appropriation of such a space reveals how indecent and uncomfortable are those living conditions. So this problem is not unique to Switzerland, but I really felt the need to create a more comfortable and to design some pieces that would just provide some more, and help these people in their primary human needs of privacy and safety. So we get to my graduation project. I tried to create a kind of privacy pod around the only space the individual has, which is their beds. I tried to, by using the standard bunk beds that are all the same around Switzerland, creating objects that would provide more comfort and more convenient space for them to live in. The first step was to create a barrier between each other. The curtain was the first pieces that I think to create, as it can easily be hung on the structure of the bed, and it's the first step towards privacy. Then, as a migrant, you already parted with a lot of your belongings, so you would want to keep what you still have with you in the private space and nearby your bed. Also, I need to cover the bottom of the bed and to complete the closer and provide a fully privacy pod for the residents. The hanging pocket fulfills those functions. The hanging pockets hangs on the structure of the bed with a small plastic piece that is also added on a strap to provide a spot to hang towel, clothes, or other items. The same pieces allows the residents to hang the curtain and to stretch it. A sense of independence is very important when you're sharing a room with so much people. As there is one lighting in the dormitory, residents used to go in the common room if they want to keep an activity after the curfew. The personal lighting gives each resident an access to use their personal space how they want and whenever they want. I hope that by creating these simple objects for this problematic situation, I will help them to, and I will provide them these primary human needs of privacy and safety. I think that, and I strongly believe that hosting newcomers, marginals, and outsiders into convenient and comfortable space will help them to integrate into society. In that way, design is a strong protagonist in social distinction and integration. Thank you.